Hi guys, it's Jess, Miss Majestic. Welcome back to another YouTube video here with me on the internet. As you know, I am an intuitive channeler and I channel God and spirit guides, along with that, and channel messages for the collective. So today that's what we're doing again, is channeling some messages for the collective. Over the past week, I've really been going within and really asking God, not just where I need to go right now, but where I need to also lead this collective. So God, of course, has been coming through and channeling some messages to me. And I was getting ready for the day today and I was already getting some channeled messages. So as you can tell, before I even start the video, I already start receiving some messages. And the first message that I was receiving, without even knowing it, was invoking the color blue. So I know last week when I posted that video, it was more so the color gold and the color pink, really the color pink. And this week it's more so the color blue. And as I'm making this video, it's the day after the Scorpio full moon on May 12th. It's currently May 13th. The moon's no longer in Scorpio, but we are still feeling that Scorpio energy, and Scorpio is a water sign. The color of water is blue. So I thought that was kind of funny. Like, God literally made me wear everything blue today. Blue shirt, blue skirt. I have my blue apatite crystal right here. I'm wearing blue mascara, blue eyeliner. I'm wearing my sapphire ring today. There's a lot of blue energy happening right now. So with that being said, with that channeled message, it's just like really start invoking the water element. I'm also hearing Cancer, Pisces, and Aquarius. Aquarius is not a water sign, but it kind of resembles water, and all of those three zodiac signs, the colors really resemble the color blue. So maybe you know someone that's a Cancer, Pisces, or Aquarius, or you have one of those in your big three. This is just extra confirmation for you that this message is for you. So without anything else, let's go ahead and channel some messages for whatever God has to say right now. God, Source, Spirit, Higher Power, what does the collective need to hear right now? What messages need to come through? What needs to be brought to light? Thank you for these messages. I forgot as well, I'm also wearing my aquamarine, more blue, more water. God is saying, go sit by some water today. Allow yourself to feel water, meaning crying, taking a bath, a salt bath, taking a salt bath. God's also saying, drinking more water, speaking to your water. That might sound so crazy. That probably sounds so crazy, but let me tell you something about drinking water. Water has an energetic frequency. So if you put an energetic frequency into water, water can hold that frequency. Kind of like when you see snowflakes, snowflakes, they're like all different, they're all unique, and they all have a different frequency. That's the same thing with water, is that water can hold that kind of frequency. Like if you see water under a microscope from someone talking to it, you will see like the particles changing frequencies, and they're like really pretty and very similar to like snowflakes. And then if you speak words of hatred into water, the same thing is going to happen, where it's going to change its vibrational frequency, but it's not going to be pretty. Also, something with the throat chakra. I was getting like stumbled up with my words there for a second. I was channeling this message before I even hit record on this video too. A lot of you out there have very, very powerful throat chakras. Welcome to the club. I feel like I'm one of those as well. Maybe that's why I attract so many people who have a very powerful voice, because I do as well. Like I was saying in last week's video, if you've watched last week's video, like you are meeting me on an energetic frequency right now. So the reason why you're watching this video is because you meet me on some level of capacity and growth when it comes to our vibrational frequency. So, and the color of your throat chakra is also the color blue. So I love how that like ties into each other. But as I was saying, with speaking to water, it's like speaking to yourself. Like, would you want to like speak to yourself in kind ways, just test this theory out. That's what I'm hearing. Just test this theory out. You know, if you see a difference, you see a difference. If you don't, you don't. But it's worth a shot, God's saying, because especially if you're a water sign or one of the signs that I mentioned in the beginning of this message, this is like extra confirmation from you or for you. Maybe you've been thinking about speaking to water. I don't know why this is coming through right now, but water has an energetic frequency, and you can technically open up portals through water to create a frequency, and then you can drink it and you raise your frequency that way. I feel like you've been really focused lately on raising your frequency, and God is saying this is one of the ways that you're going to raise your frequency even more, is through water. So I've been channeling this extremely powerful message over the course of the last 24 hours. And this message, it's funny because it ties into the astrology that's happening right now with the full moon in Scorpio, really releasing and surrendering and just letting go of things from the past. And what God is saying is, God's saying, I am giving you a second chance. Whatever that may be, whatever that means to you, God has been saying, I am officially giving you a second chance. I'm hearing from a few years ago, you tried something out that was meant for you with your life's purpose. Maybe with a relationship, maybe with putting yourself out there, maybe with a creative hobby, maybe you're an artist or an actor, an actress, and it didn't work when you were trying it a few years ago. Whatever it may be that you tried a few years ago and you really beat yourself up about it. And I'm hearing your frequency lowered over the past few years because you just became so distant from that passion of yours. And God is saying, I am giving you a second chance to make it work this time. It's gonna make me cry. It's like actually going to make me cry because it's so beautiful. God is saying, I am now giving you a second chance because you've A, done the work. You've B, been in solitude. And C, you've learned the lessons that you've needed to learn to pursue this passion, to pursue this hobby, to pursue this life's purpose. God is saying, now is the time. Congratulations. I'm seeing a red box with a golden ribbon, and you're opening it up, and there's actually a volcano on the inside, and the volcano is like exploding. But it's not explosive in a dangerous fire way. It's explosive in a way where it's like sparkly. I'm hearing sparkly. And this is actually making me channel a song called Sparkly. I forget who it's by. It's a very feminine song, so I'm sorry for the masculines watching this video, but it's a very feminine song, and I'll put it in the description box below with the artist name. But there's this verse, I think it's the bridge. It goes 111, wishes coming true, everything I want, baby wants me to, like 222 and 333, everything I want wants me. Someone needs to listen to that song. Again, it's very feminine, but I was channeling that song so clearly where it's like, don't worry. God's like, don't worry. Everything you want wants you to. Repeat that affirmation. Everything I want wants me to. Everything I want wants me more. There's that energy coming through, and God's like, I'm giving you a second chance for this. Like, I'm finally allowing you to upgrade in your life. I'm giving you a cellular upgrade, a DNA upgrade, where you're no longer resonating with those people from the past. Like, this is what I'm hearing. People from the past are gonna try to come back, and you're no longer gonna resonate with them. And that's a gift from God. God is sending you that gift where God will send you people from the past, whether this is from a relationship or a friendship, and they're no longer going to resonate with you, and it's going to make you so happy to see who they really are. That could be with family, could be with friendships, could be with a relationship. It could be anything. It could be a job as well, where someone like calls you and is like, hey, like, do you still want this job? And you're like, actually, no, I don't. You're like, actually, I realized that if I went with this job, I was going to be settling. If I went with this relationship, I was going to be settling. Because God's rejection is God's protection, okay? And sometimes we just don't realize that in the moment, that when we get rejected from someone or something or a job, it's actually protecting us. Because the thing is oftentimes a lot of us don't know our own self-worth, and we don't know how worthy we are of good things. So we just learn to settle for the worst of the worst. We learn to settle for things that we're so much better than. We've all done it. We've all been there. But I feel like this next phase of life that you're entering is like, you finally know your worth. You're finally upgrading your DNA. That I keep hearing that, like, cellular upgrade. Like, the upgrade is happening through your body. It's not just an energetic thing. It's something where you're leveling up and glowing up spiritually and physically. And it's reflecting, and your standards are going to be so much higher. I feel like this has already began to happen. God is also saying, what do you really want out of life? What do you really want? Like, have you ever sat down and asked yourself that question without any limitations, without thinking about money, without thinking about your current circumstances? What do you actually want? I'm getting the chills. What do you actually want out of life, and why? Why do you want to be a millionaire? Why do you want to be an artist? Why do you want to be in love? Why do you not want children? Why do you want children? Why do you want to live outside of the country? Or why do you want to live in Arizona, wherever it is that you want to go? Why? God is saying why, because God cannot give you something unless if you are so clear about what it is, like every single detail. Like in a painting where like people like really do like fine detailing when it comes to paint. God's saying you need to get like that with your manifestation list. Like, I'm literally seeing you like writing down like manifestations. Okay, I want to live in California, and I want to live near the ocean, near this specific beach, near this specific restaurant, near this specific shop, like stuff like that. Like, you need to get so specific with your manifestations. If you want to be an actress, God is saying, okay, what movies do you want to star in? Do you want to star in movies? Do you want to star in a TV show? Do you want your own TV show? Like, God's saying get so specific. Like every detail, every, like, I'm seeing like a mushroom, and you know how like underneath the mushroom it has like those little lines? Like, God's saying like fill in the lines. Like, this is such a weird analogy, but this is what I'm getting. It's like your manifestation is a mushroom, and underneath the mushroom is all the details, and that's where you need to fill in. That's where you need to fill it in, because God cannot give you something unless if you are so clear about what it is that you want. I'm also hearing eat more fruit. Now is the season to be eating more fruit. You know, even if you're watching this like 5 years after I make this message it can still resonate if it's not spring or summer. But God's saying like right now, really eat fruit, specifically citrus. I don't know if pineapple is a citrus, but I'm hearing pineapple, lemons, a lot of yellows. I'm seeing yellow peppers now. Yellow energy, because the yellow energy really balances out your solar plexus and helps you raise your confidence levels, okay? God, what other messages does the collective need to hear? Breathe, yes. The thing is, most human beings don't know that the breath, not only does it calm your nervous system and center you. That's another message I'm getting, but I'll get to that in a second. I'm like, everything's coming through right now so clearly. Your breath links your conscious and your subconscious together. So if you're just normally breathing very shallow every single day, and if you never stop for a second to meditate, like meditation isn't just like sitting down, listening to frequency music, closing your eyes, not thinking about anything. No. Meditation can happen when you're driving. I meditate when I'm driving. It's literally just simply just being in the present moment, focusing on your breath, and just being aware of everything around you. That is meditation. That is literally meditation. I hate how people say that meditation is not thinking about anything. No. I mean, being in the present moment and really focusing on your breath helps you practice not having any thoughts, because you're linking the subconscious mind and the conscious mind together. So there's no longer chattering happening in your brain. So if you overthink a lot, God's saying literally all you need to do is just stop and just deep breathe. Not just like God is saying, like, no, deep breathing. Some of you need to start doing breathing exercises. Breathing exercises are extremely powerful. And that message that I was channeling before I got into that message was your nervous system is also upgrading. There's this energy where you've been trying to balance out your nervous system. You've been trying to create an equilibrium. Ooh, that's a powerful word. An equilibrium when it comes to your nervous system, because you are finally realizing that you cannot receive money if your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight. You cannot truthfully be happy if your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight, if your nervous system is in survival mode. I'm telling you, like, calming your nervous system down and learning how to regulate your nervous system is going to help you manifest things like overnight. Like, I literally swear to God, it's going to help you not just manifest, but it's going to help you be in an energetic frequency that feels good for you. Because if you're always like, if your nervous system is always dysregulated, you can never truthfully find true happiness, because happiness comes from peace, and peace stems from your nervous system. And if your nervous system is not regulated with the foods that you're eating, the things that you're telling yourself, the things you do on a daily basis, the people you surround yourself with, are you hanging out with people who just talk badly about other people and who talk badly about themselves? Are you hanging out with people where you can actually have like meaningful conversations with? Like, I'm hearing, look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with, because they could also be impacting your nervous system in a very negative way. And God is saying it's time to finally regulate your nervous system. Like, that's the collective energy right now. I'm getting the chills, where we're all learning to like regulate our nervous system and understand that, like, drinking cold water, it dysregulates your nervous system. You know, drinking coffee dysregulates your nervous system. What regulates your nervous system? Talking to water, warm water, room temperature water. Maybe that's why that message was coming through, because you can manifest so much through the simple act of speaking to your water. I do this, I will admit, I do this every single morning, and I've noticed a difference in my energetic frequency, because water is so powerful. I'm also a water sign, I'm a Cancer, so maybe that also has an impact on that. But yeah, it's finally time to regulate your nervous system. God is saying, like, this is key when it comes to when it comes to manifesting. That's what God's saying. Regulating your nervous system is going to help you receive more. It's going to help you receive more, especially if you've been somebody in life where you just you don't really know how to receive, and you always reject when people try to give you something. Like, I'm hearing, like, in relationships, whether it's platonic or romantic, you're always like, no, let me pay for the dates. Let me pay for the food this time. No, I can't take that gift from you. I can't take those flowers. You have to take them back to the store. God's like, I'm trying to give you something. I'm hearing you've been asking to receive more. You've been asking to be in that feminine energy of receiving, but you've been having like a block, like you're hitting a wall, because God will send you things to help you be open to receiving more from God, from the higher power, but you are rejecting it unconsciously because your subconscious is so used to rejecting things because you feel bad. So God's like, I want to give you $5,000, but I try to have someone pay for your Starbucks, and you're telling them, no, don't buy that for me, please. I got it on my own, and you pay for theirs as well. Like, that's some twisted energy. That's some weird energy that's coming through. I relate to that on a very deep level. That's a masculine energy, and being in your masculine energy, especially whether you're a woman or a man, if you have way too much masculine that's happening in your vibrational frequency, it can actually throw you off, and it can dysregulate your nervous system. So that's why we need like the perfect balance of feminine and masculine energy, kind of like yin and yang, moonlight and sunlight. There needs to be like that perfect balance in everything, because if there's not that perfect balance, whether it's in a relationship or a friendship, there's going to be dysregulation with your nervous system. Keep that in mind. That's what I'm hearing. I'm also hearing black and white. This is a very interesting message. I'm hearing black and white, like you need an opposite, you need a contrast in life. That's what I'm hearing, because that's going to help regulate your nervous system. That goes for like anything. That goes for a career, that goes for relationships, that goes for where you live, okay? There's still a lot of blue energy that's coming up right now. And I'm seeing like waves, and I'm seeing you on a surfboard, and you're just laying on the surfboard with your arms out, and you're kind of just like, I don't really care anymore. Like, I'm gonna let the waves take me wherever they need to take me. This is where you're headed. God's saying this is where you're headed, is being in that energy of just going with the waves, because you're finally understanding that you can't control whether you hit rock bottom or not. You can't control whether you sink all the way down to the ocean or if you rise above the ocean. You literally can't control that. That's something way out of your control. And God's saying the more that you just accept it, the easier it's going to get, and the more you're going to stay on a steady balance when it comes to waves. I'm hearing equilibrium again. A lot of like balancing energy here. I'm also hearing like, well, surfing, you have to learn how to balance yourself. Yoga, you have to learn how to balance yourself. Maybe you guys should start practicing one of those. I practice yoga, and it's great for balance physically, but it also creates like an energetic balance where you will see things start to balance out in your life. So if you guys have been wondering if you should start getting into yoga, yes. If you've been wondering if you should get into surfing, yes. Like what I'm hearing, also gymnastics I'm hearing. If you learn how to balance out your physical body through these practices of surfing or yoga or gymnastics, I'm also hearing tightrope walking. That is so interesting. God is saying when you do this, it's not just going to balance like you physically, it's going to balance you spiritually and emotionally, to the point where you will see things balance out in your physical reality, okay? I'm also hearing just have fun. Some of you are like, God, can I have fun? You're like, can I just have some fun? Can I just let loose? Can I just let go? God's saying yes. I'm hearing money comes back, but memories don't. I saw this at my favorite festival, Electric Forest, and I saw it just like written on the wall, and I was like, wow. I literally spent like $2,000 on that festival, maybe even $3,000. I spent a lot of money on that music festival. It was probably the best money I've ever spent in my entire life. But like, I was like, so like, wow, I'm spending a lot of money here. I bought a lot of stuff, and as you know, if you've gone or if you've looked into the festival Electric Forest, you know it's pretty pricey. And so while I was there, I was just kind of like, oh man, like I really shouldn't buy this. And then I saw that thing where it said like money comes back, memories don't. And I was like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that. And it's true, money comes back. Like what I'm hearing is like every single time you spend money, whether it's a big purchase, a small purchase, your groceries, your bills, set a little prayer out, set a little blessing out when you do that, and say you go to pay your rent and you're like, you know what, God, I'm so thankful that I can spend this $1,500 on my beautiful apartment. I'm so thankful I have a place to live, and all of this money that I'm spending on this apartment is returning to me 1,000-fold. Every penny I spend returns to me 1,000-fold, because I find money everywhere and it flows to me so effortlessly and abundantly. Like, start saying these things to yourself. Like, stop repeating that story in your head where money's scarcity. There is so much money in the world. They're printing money. They're literally out there printing money. They're printing money. I think I had to tell you that. They're literally out there printing money. Do you know how much money there is to go around? There's so much. And God's saying, like, open yourself up to this. Open yourself up to all the possibilities that you could receive money. When you start to change your mindset around money, and you start to tell yourself good things about money, you will start to see more money flow in. And I tested this theory out in 2023. I was able to manifest $5,500 for the car that I have right now. I was able to manifest $400 for my trip to Colorado. I was able to manifest $500 out of nowhere. It was from the IRS. I don't even know why I got it. I actually have it hanging up over there because it makes me like manifest more money when I look at it every day. And I'm like, yeah, I got a check of $500 from the IRS. Like God's saying, like, repeat these things to yourself. Like, one affirmation I like to say is, God's wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I am a money magnet. Money flows to me so easily and so effortlessly. Like, some people don't realize, and I was one of these people, that affirmations are key, because you can either affirm negative things to yourself or you can affirm positive things to yourself, right? And some people think that like it doesn't work, but like, would you rather be telling yourself something really negative, or would you rather be telling yourself something really positive? Because if you're always telling yourself something negative, it will have an impact on you. This is how I literally changed my life, was I stopped telling myself the story that I was broken, that I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't enough, that I deserved men who cheated on me, that every man that I dated would abandon me. Yeah, I would tell myself these stories, and it's taken a lot of time to really reprogram that, but it is possible to reprogram your subconscious mind. It is possible to change these stories that you're telling yourself. And it starts with the simple act of you realizing that you're not telling yourself good stories and that you need to change that. That is the first step, is becoming aware that that's something that you need to change. Bravo if you have already realized that. It's probably why you found this video, okay? God is saying there's so much on the horizon. I'm seeing a sailboat with the sunset in the background, more water, a lot of water is coming through right now. Some of you really need to take a bath or go dip in the lake or an ocean or sit by the lake, something like that. Like, you just need to really invoke a lot of water energy. Wear the color blue. Really a lot of water energy. I'm also hearing, if you have water sign friends, go talk to them. Trust me, we're really in tune with our emotions. We're really in tune with our emotions, okay? So if you need to like vent or let some emotions out or get in tune with your emotions, I'm hearing hang out with Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio friends. Also Aquarius. I don't know why Aquarius is coming through, because Aquarius is not a water sign, but they're the little element, or the symbol that they have is like water. Maybe that's why it's coming up in my head. They keep saying like there's something really beautiful on the horizon, and it's rising right now. It's not a sunset, it's a sunrise that's happening in your life. I got the chills while saying that. And God is, chills again. And God is saying, I am giving you a second chance to finally sail around the world. Ooh, whoa. Oh my God, the chills. What the heck? What is going on right now? I love this so much. I love when I get the chills. God is like, you were beating yourself up for so long because you missed the sunrise a few years ago and the sun set on you, and you've been in this dark moonlight energy. Like, I'm seeing, like, literally, I'm seeing a full moon. You on a sailboat, you're stuck at sea. You're kind of just like, well, I'm starving. I don't really know where to go. I don't really know what to do. What direction do I go in? Like, it's just water. You don't see any island. There's no land. And you're like, where the heck do I go? And God's like, I'm finally giving you a sense of purpose and a sense of direction in this time of your life, because you have finally sat through the moonlight. You have finally sat through some of the darkest days. So I'm going to bless you 1,000-fold. I'm going to bless you more than you can comprehend in your own imagination. Like, the sun is beginning to peak up, and I think you can see this. I think you're starting to see this in your life, where you're seeing, oh, it's giving me the chills. You're seeing a little glimmer of hope. You're seeing the peak of the sun start to rise up on the horizon. And it's like you can finally see a direction. You can finally see an island. You can see what way to go, all because the sun is beginning to rise in your direction, and you can begin to see things clearly. That's what this full moon in Scorpio is doing, because Scorpio is a very dark, intense sign. So it's like, we need to sit through these emotions one last time, fully embrace it, let it go, and watch the sun rise, okay? God, is there anything else the collective needs to hear? I just saw a lion. Lions resemble a lot of power, a lot of willpower, a lot of strength, a lot of ambition. I'm also hearing the zodiac sign Aries. As you know, we had Aries season not too long ago. It's my favorite season. I'm so sad it's over because Aries is such a powerful season to really go after what it is that you want. And I'm hearing like I'm just seeing a lion. Like you were a tiger, but I'm seeing a lion now where you've matured and you've grown into this phase of life, and God is preparing you to take you somewhere that you can't even see. I got the chills again. God's like, I am preparing you, Miss Lion or Mr. Lion. A lot of strength, a lot of resilience. Those are all the messages that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope these messages resonated with you. I will be leaving that song in the description box below. I will also leave my Instagram and my TikTok in the description box below, where if you want to see more videos like this, you can go ahead and follow me on my other social medias. And as well, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscription button. Make sure to like this video if you liked this video, if these messages resonated with you. And if you want to give any feedback, make sure to leave a good comment below. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and have a great rest of your day, guys.